As you've probably seen from the title, this video is on the coronavirus. So some things we're going to cover are a year away from vaccine. D.r Oz from Fox says BioTech stocks soaring, 81 deaths reported so far, suspected actual death rate much higher. Bill Gates funded coronavirus, and Bill Gates has patent on coronavirus. Stock market has risen for latex gloves and face masks. Glove and face masks selling out. So those are just a few of the things. Stay tuned. So the Inquirer said this: Inovio Pharmaceuticals Incorporated in Plymouth Meeting announced Thursday that it received a grant up to $9 million to rapidly develop a vaccine for the new coronavirus that is spreading in China and sparking screenings at some U.S. airports. The grant to Inovio comes from the Coalition for Epidemic Preparedness Innovations, CEPI, a partnership that receives money from public and private groups, including the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation. The company, which is collaborating with the Wistar Institute in Philadelphia, said the grant will be used to support testing of a vaccine against the new virus through phase 1 trials. J. Joseph Kim, Inovio's president and CEO, said the company's approach to vaccine development is based on DNA sequencing, which is faster than traditional research requiring actual viruses or proteins from viruses. Our goal, quote, "Our goal is to be in the human testing less than 6 months in the United States," he said. The company also hopes to work in China. Unlike influenza, coronaviruses do not have a season, Kim said. So an outbreak can continue for years. Coronaviruses are a large family of viruses that can cause respiratory illnesses in humans and animals. Sometimes these viruses can move from animals to humans and then from person to person. That happened with severe acute respiratory syndrome, SARS, and Middle East respiratory syndrome, MERS. The newly identified coronavirus, now called 2019-9 causes fever, cough, and trouble breathing. An analysis this week from Peking University said it may have spread to people from snakes who caught it from bats in a food market. It is also spreading among people, which sounds kind of weird how like bats and snakes. Just saying. Kim said that DNA sequencing of the new virus became publicly available on January 11th. Inovio said he was able to construct a vaccine within a matter of hours. It has named its candidate INO-4800. David Weiner, a molecular immunologist who is executive vice president of the Wistar Institute and director of its Vaccine Immunotherapy Center, works closely with Inovio and works on its board. He said the company grew from work of his lab and then at the University of Pennsylvania. Previous experiences with vaccine development are allowing Inovio's team to speed the process, Weiner said. Scientists identify key proteins on a virus that should make a good immune system targets. They then code pieces of DNA to produce copies of those proteins, mix the DNA in a solution, and inject it into the skin or muscle. For the extra curious, Weiner says DNA is a polymer that looks white and powdery like salt. Cells read the new DNA sequences and produce the newly designed proteins, which the body's immune identifies as invaders. Alarmed gears up for a fight. That makes it ready for a quick, stronger immune response if it ever encounters the full virus. Kim said that Inovio's Zika vaccine went from bench to human testing in 7 months. Inovio was founded in 2000, Kim said. It now has over 200 employees and expects to expand with the new grant. CEPI on Thursday announced 2 other grants meant to combat the 2019 nCoV. It has given the University of Queensland in Australia up to $10.6 million to develop a molecular clamp platform for a vaccine. This is meant to help the body recognize the parts of the viruses that attach to host cells. CEPI will also work with Moderna Incorporated in Cambridge, Massachusetts, to develop an RNA-based vaccine. Now, I'd like to point out that Moderna, the stock market for Moderna is rising very much, while the stock market for the normal companies and everything else is going down drastically, about 300 points or so. We are definitely in a friendly competition, Kim said. You know, it's for the betterment of the world. For the new grant, Inovio is also working with VGXI, a subsidiary of Gene One Life Science, which is based in South Korea, and Twist Bioscience in San Francisco. The CDC said, this is another article from the CDC. The CDC said this: 2019 novel coronavirus, 2019 nCoV, is a virus, more specifically a coronavirus, identified as the cause of an outbreak of respiratory illness first detected in Wuhan, China. Early on, many of the patients in the outbreak in Wuhan, China, reportedly had a link to seafood and an animal market, suggesting animal-to-person spread. However, a growing number of patients reportedly have not had exposure to animal markets, indicating person-to-person spread is occurring. At this time, it's unclear how easily or sustainably this virus is spreading between people. The latest situation summary updates are available on CDC's webpage. I'll also put all the links to all the articles and different sources and everything in the description down below. 7 days ago, Business Insider said this: Moderna, a $7 billion BioTech, on Thursday announced a collaborative effort with the National Institutes of Health to use its genetic drug development platform to produce an experimental vaccine. The BioTech Inovio is also working on a vaccine, as are researchers at the University of Queensland, according to the Coalition for Epidemic Preparedness Innovations, which is funding the efforts. None of them have said how long it might take to make a vaccine. Biotech giant Gilead Sciences is also considering repurposing an experimental drug previously tested against Ebola as a treatment against this new strain, according to Bloomberg Law. The drug is an antiviral called remdesivir or something. 3 public health experts, including the head of NIH's infectious disease unit, published an article Thursday singling Gilead's drug out by name for its potential based on previous tests on animals. The Wuhan coronavirus has affected about 600 people in China and killed 17. So now, this is obviously a dated article. The rate so far of death is 81 and it's rising. People have been saying things that probably the government is not reporting all of the death toll rates, and that the death toll is way higher than what it actually is. And it's spreading like wildfire. People are dropping in the streets apparently, and stuff like that. So remember, especially with this article from Business Insider, it's going to be dated a little bit by a week. Vaccines often require difficult testing and thousands of people before being allowed on the market. For instance, an Ebola vaccine developed by Merck & Co., one of the largest drug makers in the world, required years of clinical testing on top of about 2 decades of research to gain FDA approval, according to Stat News. The agency approved the vaccine in December 2019, more than 5 years after a major outbreak of the Ebola virus in Africa. Let me see here. I'm going to skip some of this. We do not know the incubation time of the virus, 2 days or 2 weeks. We don't know how long people stay sick, a day or 3 weeks. That is a very big implications for the modeling you do. Several biotechs are working on vaccines. CEPI committed up to $9 million to fund Inovio's work on a Wuhan coronavirus vaccine on top of the $56 million it previously gave the biotech for other vaccine work. The news helped send Inovio's stock up 6.1%. Christopher Raymond, analysis at Piper Sandler, said investors should be cautious about betting on the vaccine work because vaccines can take a long time to develop. All right, let's go to the next article. Off-Grid Survival said this. In late 2019, the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation co-hosted a pandemic exercise that simulated a global coronavirus outbreak. The simulation, titled Event 201, Pandemic. The pandemic exercise dropped participants right in the midst of an uncontrolled coronavirus outbreak that was spreading like wildfire out of South America to wreak worldwide havoc. In the simulation, the coronavirus resulted in a death toll of 65 million people within 18 months, according to Johns Hopkins University. Scientist and scholar Eric Toner, who helped run the simulation, said in an interview on Friday with the business news channel CNBC that China's efforts to contain the current outbreak of the fast-moving upper respiratory illnesses are unlikely to be effective. Toner told Business Insider during an interview that he wasn't completing research on the current strain, the Wuhan coronavirus, known as 2019 nCoV, but claimed that the death toll could run in the millions if the virus were resistant to modern vaccines and was as easy to catch as the common flu. Toner said that the coronavirus simulation was not focused primarily on the number of deaths. It was to point out that there could be a societal and economic consequences from severe pandemic, not just health consequences. Now, think about this. The normal stocks are going drastically down. Face masks and latex gloves and the like are skyrocketing. BioTechs are way up in the green. They're going up, going up, going up. Face masks and latex gloves are selling out the stores very fast, all over in the US, in China, everywhere. So you gotta think about this. Hold on one quick sec. Thing's not working. Just last week, the Johns Hopkins Center for Health Security, the World Economic Forum, and the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation called for joint action and said that the next severe pandemic will not only cause great illness and loss of life, but could also trigger major cascading economic and societal consequences that could contribute greatly to global impact and suffering. End quote. So the next thing I'm going to show you is from a video from, I'm going to try and say the channel name, I'm Still UC Alien. Credit goes to them. It's 30 seconds.
In case you are wondering about the odds of the coronavirus outbreak in China becoming a global pandemic, you are right about being concerned, because what the mainstream media is not telling you is that far from being a mysterious disease, the coronavirus is an engineered biological weapon patented in 2015 by the Pirbright Institute of Controlled Diseases, whose list of stakeholders and shareholders includes Bill and Melinda Gates, major sponsors of eugenics and depopulation agenda of the global elite.
So now that we've seen that, what are you thinking now? So probably, why are you manufacturing a virus? Why are you having a patent on a virus? It seems awfully fishy. The Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation, he pretty much prepared everyone that this was going to happen. It seems awfully funny that on December 31st, this new strain was found. But before that, 3 months before that, they had the whole Project 201 thing. Let's take a look. Here are some pictures of the patent and the BioTech stocks and some other things. So just wondering, why are they doing this? Could this be some sort of actual pandemic or epidemic that's going out? Are they trying to, is this biological warfare? What is actually going on? Especially since there's more than, people are dying, and then there's also money being made from this virus. Just some things to keep in mind. As always, comment, like, share, and subscribe, and hit the notification bell down below. And as always, have a good day.